Hello there. We just got a Protecting the Peace article for X-Wing Wave 3. This one is going to be talking about some upgrades for Guardians of the Republic, so we're going to kind of run through all of those. Doesn't it feel like we're just getting overwhelmed with articles? I feel like they're making up for over the holidays how we didn't have a whole lot of articles for. It felt like a couple of months we were like lucky to get an article once a month or something. And now it's just boom, 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 boom. Crazy. Before I jump into this, dude, let me remind you there's still time left to enter to win the lightsaber giveaway. I'm giving away a Star Wars Black Series Force FX lightsaber in the form of an Amazon gift card. And if you end up not wanting a lightsaber, you can probably just use that for whatever you want, including X-Wing stuff. All right, and there's more details for that on Crabbok.com. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment. Let me know what upgrade you're most excited about in this wave. All right, guys, let's jump down and start looking at some of these cards because they're pretty cool. First off, we got Dedicated. This is one of those clone upgrades. This one is just, again, we're seeing more and more of the clones and their mentality of working together. And it's interesting because I'm seeing some synergy of like how the clones and the droids are going to be, how they're going to feel. Right, it's like the droids and the clones both work together, but they work together in a different way. Whereas the droids, feel a little bit more, methodical. The clones are more about boosting each other up and working together. And that's one of the things that this one seems to do here. It's Republic only as a talent, and it's non-limited. So basically, you have to be like a generic. You can't have any of those dots next to you. You can't be a single dot or multiple dots. While another friendly ship in your side arcs at range 0 to 2 defends, if it's limited or has the dedicated upgrade and you are not strained, you may gain a strain token. If you do, the defender rerolls one of their blank results. So, and I think this is really good. I like seeing upgrades that increase blank results, especially on defense, because defense is where you're going to have the most blanks, because you don't have that critical on the like you do on the attack die. The green dice are even worse. So this is something that's really taking advantage of a major weakness in dice. So I think that's going to be helpful. Obviously, it's going to work pretty well on V19s. Probably work well on the Arc 170. Anywhere you have your clones, because they already have things that are working on their side arcs already. So it's taking advantage of you flying in formations side by side, as opposed to one in front of the other. And I think that's going to be an interesting mechanic, because I feel like the droids just want to be in any old swarm, but the clones are more along being shoulder to shoulder with each other, and flying them that way is going to be a challenge that will be potentially really rewarding if you can manage that. And that's one of the things that this one is doing. Synchronized console, we're getting a mod here, and this is a Republic only, and you must have target lock in order to equip it. After you perform an attack, you may choose a friendly ship at range 1 or a friendly ship with the synchronized console upgrade at range 1 to 3. So you can buff somebody near you, but if you're running multiples of these, you can buff somebody farther away from you. And you can spend a lock you have on the defender. If you do, the friendly ship you choose may acquire a lock on the defender. So this is after you're done performing an attack. Ideally, again, this is more of what we've seen already. This is these clones working together. This is something that you could put on the Jedi ships as well, because there's nothing in here that's requiring that this be on a clone ship. But I do think it's kind of works together if you're running multiples of the same type of ship, especially spreading them out shoulder to shoulder. If you don't want to be directly in front or behind each other, if you're trying to be left and right of each other, you may space yourself out a little bit more. This will work with that too. As a matter of fact, you could run both of these together. You could run dedicated and synchronized console together. I could see that being something. One gives you offense, one gives you defense. So I could see that being something that you might want to run in tandem with each other. We get a nice Force upgrade. Now this one obviously is going to be for the Jedi. This is Republic only. So unfortunately, all of you Jedi in the Empire and in the Rebellion and in Scum, and you're not getting it. You can't do it. It's Republic only. Battle Meditation. Now this one is pretty cool because it's giving you the purple coordinate action. Now, purple actions, like we've talked about already, they require you to spend a force charge to take this action, but they are not red actions, so they're not giving you a stress. Ideally, they're in between a white and a red action, as far as like white would be just straight up easier to take, but the purple action has a cost to it. The red action also has a much tougher cost to it potentially. But yes, you cannot coordinate limited ships. So this is the idea of this is for you to be able to coordinate generics. But this says while you perform a purple coordinate action, you may coordinate one additional friendly non-limited ship of the same type. Both ships must perform the same action. So ideally, this is like the upgrade that you have on your Jedi that's leading 2 clones, right? Or maybe 3 clones. But you have those clones flying side by side. You have them doing this sort of thing. Maybe they both, maybe you've got 3 clones. I mean, again, it's hard for us to know exactly what kind of builds you might have, because we don't have the points for all of these things. I don't know how feasible it is going to be to have Obi-Wan Kenobi with 3 clones, each with things like synchronized console and dedicated. I don't know if that's going to be feasible, or if it's going to be more likely you'll have Obi-Wan Kenobi and 2 clones. I would hope you can do the 4, because that just seems like having 3 clones side by side. If you lose one, you can still kind of make the synergy work a little bit. That's kind of what I'm hoping. But Battle Meditation will work with at least 2 clones, because you can coordinate 2. They'll have to do the same action. They have to be the same ship type. So once this faction is really balanced out, and it's really fleshed out, and you've got N1 starfighters, and you've got V-wings, and you've got there's several other ships that are available. The G9 Rigger, for example, you've got all of those out there. This one isn't going to work so well when you're running, a little bit of everything. So this is going to work better when you're running, 1 Jedi and then a little mini swarm of identical ship types, and ideally generics. But it works great. It's a great support ship. And here I think is an example where your purple action is actually useful, unlike the purple evade, right? I think the purple, because at least on a Jedi with multiple force charges, because here you're actually getting 2 actions for the cost of your 1 force charge and your action. So it's a little bit action efficient. And if you're Mace Windu or Obi-Wan Kenobi or somebody with 3 force charges, you can afford that. And I think that's pretty cool. Mace Windu especially can, because he can do that whole red action, get a force charge back. So that's kind of cool too. So Battle Meditation looks pretty nice. We'll have to see how easy it is to actually use and how effective it actually is in games. But I think it looks pretty nice, and I like the flexibility it gives you. I also am curious how expensive it's going to be. It probably won't be cheap. R4P Astromech. And he's an Astromech that is Republic only, so sorry Rebels, sorry anybody else who wanted to use that Astromech, you can't do it. Sorry Resistance. Before you execute a basic maneuver, sorry Scum, before you execute a basic maneuver, you may spend 1 charge. If you do, while you execute that maneuver, reduce its difficulty. So that's pretty simple. I have a feeling this will be a fairly cheap Astromech. Most Astromechs tend to be a little on the cheaper side. Now, keep in mind basic maneuver, right? So you're not going to be able to decrease the difficulty of like a Segnor's loop or a K-turn or a Talon roll. Those aren't basic maneuvers. But if you're like a ship that has like a hard 1 turn, that's going to allow you to make that a white. A hard 1 turn that's red, it's going to let you make that white. Or if you really need to clear stress and you need that 3 bank that's white, you know what, you can make that blue now. And it's selective. You won't be doing this all the time, but a lot of times you don't always need to. So actually, 2 charges, you may only find that you need to do something like this twice in a game. So I think this one actually is really good. It's just a really solid Astromech that I think will be useful, and it's flexible because you can use it multiple different ways. You can use it to make a red maneuver white, or to make a white maneuver blue. So I like the flexibility here, and the fact that it's not just 1 charge. Definitely, I think this one might be like the very casual, like the one that's overlooked is, oh yeah, we've seen that type of ability before, but look closer. You can do it 2 different ways, and you don't have to lock in like, you can do it one way, and then next time you need it a whole totally different way. I actually really like this one. And then R4P17. He is limited. He's unique. Only 1 of him. He's also got 2 charges, and he is also Republic only. He or she. I don't really know if droids have gender. After you fully execute a red maneuver, you may spend 1 charge to perform an action, even while stressed. Very, very cool, especially if it's some kind of reposition, which is always really, really nice, because you hate to be turned around facing the wrong way. This will be really good on the Jedi as well. That can save those force charges for defense in place of especially if you're Obi-Wan or Mace Windu, and I like this one on Mace Windu a lot, actually, because you're getting your force back after a red, and it's just, you're going to have something to modify dice regardless. So, if you need to reposition, or maybe maybe you want to boost and just, really mess somebody up. I just love the idea of being able to K-turn or Talon roll or Segnor's loop or something, and then boost beyond that. Just do real crazy stuff. So I like that, but you have to fully execute the red maneuver. That's the key. If you bump, it's hosed. So fully execute the maneuver. You get to perform that action even while stressed. So that's cool. You will still take another stress token, so you are going to be, loaded up on the stress for a little while. But sometimes it's worth it. It's worth it rather than dying. You know what I'm saying? So I like that. I like that one. Spare parts canisters. This one, you remember this one from episode 3. This one is not faction restricted, so this one can go anywhere as long as you can take a mod slot, which you used to say that was kind of normal, like every ship can take a mod slot. Well, we don't even know, we don't even know which ships can take mod slots. Generally, most ships get a mod slot. Some ships get 2. Some ships get 0 though. It's rare, but some ships do get 0 mod slots. So you need to be able to take the modification, and you need to be able to take an astromech and have one equipped. So you have to have an astromech equipped. So this one might not be that, might be a little on the cheaper side, because it's got the restriction that you already have to have an astromech equipped. Granted, a lot of ships that can take an astromech like to take one anyway, but not always. So let's see. You're going to spend a charge. So it's got 2 different actions you can do, right? First, you can spend a charge to recover 1 charge on one of your equipped astromech upgrades, which is nice. Look, we just looked at 2 astromechs that had charges, so that's definitely going to be something that works for the Republic. But it's also going to work for people like R2D2. It's also going to work for people like BB-8, droids like R2D2 and BB-8 that have charges. So that's cool. And then it's got a second action that you can use as well. You can spend a charge to drop a spare parts. And then break all locks assigned to you. Now, we don't know exactly what the spare parts do, but they definitely look like debris. So I have a feeling that's roughly how it will function. But so this is, I would say this is something that's great that anybody can just, equip this and drop their spare parts. But since you have to have an astromech equipped all the time, you're going to actually have a lot of choice. This is going to be a really cool upgrade. Again, you can only do it once. It's a one-shot. So it's not going to be that expensive, because it's a one-time only use. But there's going to be plenty of cases where you want to use it on your astromech. But I think breaking locks is going to be really, really nice, especially since we're getting new ordnance, we're getting new missiles and torpedoes. So I have a feeling that the second action may end up being a little bit more useful than the first action. But I guess time will tell. Because we are getting those hyena bombers, and we're getting some ordnance delivery platforms that are coming. So breaking locks may be way more important than we think. Although it's an action though, so it depends on your initiative. All right, let's go ahead and see what's next. The Delta 7B. So I talked about this briefly. I didn't look at it in too much detail because it was kind of blurry. But there is another configuration for the Aether Sprite, the Delta 7 Aether Sprite, and I thought maybe that one would have been an auto include, because a lot of times the configurations feel like they're auto includes. But this one is a lot. This is really good. Okay, so at the cost of 1 agility, you're gaining +1 attack and +2 shields. Now we don't know the points cost for this. And this is one of those times where I just really don't like the idea that we don't have points on the cards and everything, because this is it would be really nice if we could equip, if we knew how much was this going to increase the cost of the Aether Sprite, or how much is the cost of the Aether Sprite, right? Because just for completionist, now this is the last card they previewed in today's article, but just a throwback to the the last article we got, we did see calibrated laser targeting as another configuration for the Delta 7. And this one is still kind of giving you the option to make it a 3 attack die ship if you are able to maneuver it well enough. Because you're adding, it's actually better because you're potentially better because you know it's not going to be a blank for that third die, for that extra die. So this one's nice. You're getting that it's taking the place of your mod and your configuration. It's just taking up 2 slots. We don't know the cost though, so that one makes it hard. But this one is, I have a feeling this one will be cheaper because for 1, it's taking up 2 different slots, and for 2, it's it's not guaranteed. You're going to have to line them up in your bullseye arc. So again, it's really going to work most of the time when you're able to boost or something into close range. Now, when we go back to the Delta 7B, we're just getting +1 attack die all the time, so that's cool. But it does cost us 1 agility, but it's also giving us 2 shields, which is pretty nice. I generally prefer to rely on shields rather than green dice, just because my green dice do not work out very well. And this is only using the configuration, so this does also free you up to be able to use your modification slot. So if you want to use something like a stealth device or whatever, you will be able to do that. So you might really not lose much of anything. So I think it's pretty clear. I think this will be the more expensive, but I could be wrong. We'll see. But yeah, that is our preview today. So let me know what you're most excited about. I'd love to hear from you. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Don't forget to check out Crabbok.com. Hit that notification bell alert so you can join the notification squad, because once these do come out, I will be doing unboxings of everything. So we'll be taking a close-up look at it, especially if you want to see it before you get it. Hopefully, I'll get a video up there right away so you can take a look, and that'll hold you over while you're waiting for yours. All right, guys, I want to thank you all so much for watching. A big thanks to my patrons on Patreon as well. You guys definitely help make this all possible, and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.